Hi, everybody. Hi, Krishna. This is Traylor. I'm with Komprise, and we are here today to talk about the results of a new survey that we just completed this year. It's our second annual State of Unstructured Data Management. I'm so excited to talk about these results. And with us today, I have Krishna Subramanian, who is our CEO, COO, President, and Co-founder. Hi, Krishna.
Hey, Polly.
Good to see you. So the survey is, it went out to 300 participants across the US and the UK, and these are IT directors and above. We also had some CEOs and business executives in the audience, so it's really interesting to see what people responded. And we surveyed people on their unstructured data management priorities, challenges, as well as data growth to understand a little bit about their data profile and the kind of environments that they're managing. So I wanted to start off, Krishna, one of the findings in the survey is that the largest obstacle to unstructured data management is moving data without disrupting users and applications. So firstly, can you explain what exactly that means and why do you think it's important?
Yeah. So, Polly, what I think we found in the survey, and we know this even from talking to our customers, is that moving unstructured data is quite different from moving structured data. And the biggest reason why it's very different is because unstructured data is really large. It can easily be, hundreds of terabytes and quite often petabytes of data. And we saw in our survey, I think, that the number of people with more than a few petabytes of data jumped pretty significantly from last year to this year. And that trend is going to continue. And what that means is that when you have that big a data set that you want to move to the cloud, you most likely are not going to move it all overnight. It's going to take months to move the data. So finding a way to figure out what data to move, to migrate the data without causing any disruption for users and applications, because you don't want people to have to wait for months and be offline. And then also to use the data transparently in the cloud. I think that's the third component of it. So the first component is figuring out what to migrate and in what order. The second component is migrating data so that there's no disruption during the migration. But the third component is making sure that the access to data is transparent even after the migration, because I think that's the other thing that a lot of people are trying to figure out with the cloud. The cloud gives you many more storage architectures than just file storage. So you have different levels of file storage. You also have different levels of object storage. And can you leverage all of those in a transparent way without changing the behavior of users and file-based applications? So those are the three things that come to mind for customers when they think about moving data non-disruptively.
Yeah. So overall, the benefits from that would be reducing that conflict that can occur between the IT department and users when they can't find their data or it's in a different location, and also helping them more easily use these new tools and services without, again, running back to IT and saying, I can't find my data and I don't know how to get it into XYZ application.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, because users want to just do their jobs and they just want data to be available to them and they want it made easier for them. Optimizing infrastructure is not something users should have to care about, right? So can you do the two in parallel without impacting one another?
Yeah, awesome. Okay, great. I wanted to move on to another point that our survey came about that I thought was really interesting. And you spoke a little bit about cloud and migrations. And so companies are obviously doing this to cut costs. That still comes up as the highest benefit or expected benefit of a cloud data migration. But after that, we found that improving self-service for end users and departments was the second highest expected benefit of a cloud migration. I'm wondering, Krishna, does that finding surprise you? And what are some common use cases for self-service with data in the cloud?
Yeah, no, the finding does not surprise me, Polly. I think it's very encouraging actually to see companies starting to realize this. Basically the cloud is, if you think about why is the cloud attractive to a lot of companies? It's not just because you don't have to manage the infrastructure, but it's also because you can kind of have a supercomputer at your fingertips, right? Anytime you want to analyze something, you can just spin up additional capacity. You want to leverage some great big data application, you don't have to buy that application. You can just rent it for a few hours. So the power of the cloud is in the compute and the analytics capabilities that it can offer you on demand. And users like that, right? Users want to leverage that. Users want to use their data in the cloud. They want to find data in the cloud. They want to leverage it. And for IT, I think that IT is starting to realize as they're moving to the cloud, if they enable more self-service for users, there are two benefits. One, users are happier because they can search and find the data they want and use it in the ways that they want to. But the second benefit for IT is they're more cooperative with IT. So you can tell users, hey, when you're done with the project, just tag it so I can just move it to the cloud for you, and it's available. You can search and find it and you can use it. So by giving users a benefit, it also benefits IT in like data archiving projects or managing cold data more efficiently and all of those initiatives.
Fantastic. I have one last question for today. And, that is around new use cases for unstructured data management. Obviously a primary use case is to cut costs and save money on storage by right placing your data. But some other ones that came up as leading new use cases, one was protecting sensitive data, and the other was big data analytics. So maybe you could talk through those two scenarios with us just a little bit.
Yeah, a lot of companies, are in regulated industries. I mean, if you look at healthcare or you look at the public sector overall, or even finance, financial services, they're regulated industries, and sensitive data must be handled differently. And this gets more complex as you move data to the cloud, because sometimes it's handling data differently means putting it separate from other data, but sometimes it may also mean different retention times, or even different geographic placement of that data. So handling sensitive data is a very big thing when going to the cloud, and finding ways to tag sensitive data. And again, universally leverage that tag wherever the data goes is extremely important. So that's why I think we're seeing sensitive data come up as an important aspect for companies. The other thing is that everybody is trying to become more intelligent and automate our systems with more intelligence. This whole machine learning, you're seeing a lot of interest in machine learning in different industries. And machine learning, what's really unique about it is it relies on unstructured data. Most of machine learning is not by processing a database. It's by processing audio or video or processing a genomics file. It's unstructured data. So big data in the cloud is becoming more important across industries, but it requires a way to leverage unstructured data. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of interest in data workflows that can find unstructured data and feed them into analytics applications in the cloud.
Yeah. Certainly, I think we're going to see more innovation in this area from lots of different vendors. And so it's exciting times to see that we can start putting all the pieces together finally. This was great. I really appreciated your time, Krishna. And if you'd like to download the survey, please go to komprise.com//survey. And also to learn more about us, we are a leading platform for unstructured data management and mobility. We'd love to hear from you anytime. And Krishna, thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day.